I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights, and thank you for joining us today. Also, before we get too far into this, if you could remember to hit that subscribe button, you won't miss a single episode. And this morning, we have Jennifer Murgia. Jennifer, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Hey, it's fun out here. Today, we just happen to have bright sunshine where I am. What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Maryland.
You're in Maryland. All
I'm in
right.
Maryland.
Well, that's
Yes.
at least a week's drive from here, so a bit further down the road.
Yes.
Now, you are both an author and a business owner.
Yes.
And let's get right into your books first off, because Author in the Headlights is for readers and writers. In this case,
Mhm.
let's talk to the readers for a bit. Now, you've
Okay.
got what, 7 books, something like that?
I'm on my 7.
You're on your 7. All
Currently writing
right.
my 7. Yes.
And you've got a couple of different series, as I remember.
Mhm.
You've got the Hedge Witch series and Angel Star, correct?
Right.
And you got
Yes.
a couple of books in each.
2. Two in
Two in
each.
the, all right. So Angel Star, that's real because it's the name of your first book, and
Right.
Limnescape, that's
hmm
book 2 on that. What is that series about?
It is about a high schooler who falls for the new boy. He ends up being her guardian angel.
Wow.
So,
All
yeah.
right. So is it a young adult? So,
Yes, it is.
all right, that's good.
Yes.
I happen to like young adult myself,
Yes.
so that fits really good with me. And what about Hedge Witch?
That's young adult as well. And that is a story about a girl who hears the whispers of her mother, who was hanged as a witch upon her 16th birthday. And so her legacy has fallen to her. And it kind of touches in on the witch trials in Germany. So, and then it extends into the second book. So it's just very magical and has a good message. And
Well, it does, and that really piques my interest as a reader, because I tell you, I've
Mhm,
read hundreds and hundreds of books, really, and
mhm.
that's definitely something that would pique my interest. I mean, I got to go do that now. And that's the Hedwig series, but
Yes.
Forest of Whispers and Castle of
Castle
Sighs,
of
right?
Sighs.
Okay, I try to get these things down ahead of time, but I'm never exactly always right.
Right.
Well, those sound great. No, what are you said you had other books going too?
I have a standalone called Between These Lines, which was self-published. And then I have my newest, which is When I Was Alice, which is actually not young adult. It originally was written as young adult, but it's actually my adult debut. So we
Wow.
did a little switching around and aged up my characters, so it propelled me into a different audience. So
Well, that's good. Hey, spreading
yeah,
out. That's excellent.
yes,
Now, I
very exciting.
also noticed that your titles are not just English. You're at other kind of publications too. Where are
I
you
do.
expanded to?
My other books have been in Germany, the Netherlands, Poland, and Hungary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, my books have been purchased other places. I follow that, but it's always in
Mm.
English. And one of these days we'll have to upgrade that a bit.
Yeah, it's
So
always exciting to see a book translated into another language. It's
it
it's definitely a
really
thrill.
is. Really
Yes.
is. That's amazing to me. Just exciting too.
Yeah,
And you have new covers on those then? Is that part of the
I do.
publication asset? Mhm.
Yes, they are all different covers. If I could reach them, I would pull some up for you. But for example, this is Forest of Whispers in the
Mhm.
US.
That's the title or the cover I know.
Yes, and this is the Netherlands.
They're both gorgeous. Great artwork on them.
Kind of similar. So,
And similar, yes. And it
yeah.
definitely draws to the mystique of that particular genre too.
hmm
I like
hmm
very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so you have a new one coming out, or that's just now gotten out, your When I Was Alice?
When I Was Alice releases on June 25th.
Soon.
So coming up. Yes. Yeah. Very
Well,
soon.
good luck on that.
Thank
And
you.
just so our audience knows too, your books will be available through Durham Publishing, and they can link to them there wherever they're sold.
Thank you.
Now,
It's nice.
the other thing about you is you have a business. You are an editor,
I
Jennifer
am.
Murgia Edits.
Yes.
And so how did that come about?
Um, a few years ago, I decided, I was playing around with the idea that I was interested in becoming a literary agent. So I did an internship with a major agency in New York. Um, I ended up extending my internship because I loved the editing process of it. Um, and I decided that that particular road was not for me and decided to open up my own business, and now I do freelance editing for authors. I help them
Wow.
through the query process, writing, the query letters, helping with the synopses, um, doing developmental edits, line edits, proofreading, a little bit of ghost writing when it's necessary, depending on what the author needs. And I've been doing it for a few years now, and it's actually putting my daughter through nursing school. So
Woo, all
yes,
right.
yeah.
That that's me. Actually, I have looked at that site and I have seen those things, which is awesome. Not only that, you've got a whole portfolio of wonderful, I will say wonderful looking books. I mean, right again, right up my genre of reading. So I'm really
Yes.
excited. And that's great. So you helped you edit these other authors and help them assist
Hmm.
them along.
Yes.
But you, man, you can't afford to put out a bad book. It's
Yeah.
just I don't care
Yeah.
how much money it costs to get it done right.
Yes.
I know we all get caught up on some of the paperwork that goes before a book, like your query letters, going
Hmm.
out and
Hmm.
those kind of things. So it's always nice to get an outside look at what you're doing because when you sometimes you're just too close to the work. I'm talking for me.
Yes,
You
you
get
are.
too close to it and you have a difficult time chopping all that down and getting
Right.
it down
Mhm,
to those things that are necessary to put it
mhm.
forward to agency. So, and
Yeah.
that before publication. And even if you're self-published, you still require, I would say require, it is mandatory that you have your work edited and corrected and that other
Mhm.
set of eyes looking through it to catch those things that our brain automatically, it reads what it wants to see rather than what it
Mhm.
actually reads. It's just what
Yes.
happens. The human
Yes.
brain does that.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens to every author, no matter, if they're on their first book or 7th or 10th or whatever. Um, but yeah, it is hard when you become too close to your own work. Um, you're just so caught up in the story that you don't really catch everything. And that's one of the things that I've noticed about my clients. Sometimes they're they're unsure at what stage they're actually in with their work. A lot of them say, "You know what? It's ready," and it's a little bit of shock if I come back and say, "It's not." So,
No, it's true. I have
yeah,
written work that I put out. Man, I think this is like, okay, it's good. And I
right.
put it out because my wife will say, I think you need that edited. But it's good. And sure enough, it comes back and has all kind of
Yes,
things.
yes,
And I go, oh gosh, how come I didn't catch that? It's true.
yeah.
It is
Yeah, it is
true.
true. It is true. It's always a good idea to have, a few other eyes on it, but not so many that they suggest a multitude of different things as far as developing the story, because then, your first instinct is, "Oh, this is a good idea, and maybe this is the right thing," and then they change it, and then before you know it, there's too many hands in the pot, and then the story is not what they originally wanted. So, it's
It's
you
true.
need to have that fine line of what advice to take and where to stop. So,
As a writer, you do need your own voice. That's how you
mhm,
write. And
right.
I have been told by, oh, this needs to, but that's not the way I write. That's not the character, the way, there's nothing wrong with that one, but this is really the voice I'm trying to carry. So I
Yes.
understand that.
Yeah.
And your developmental edit is also something manuscript overview kind of thing. It's the storyline, the whole process of does this
Right.
follow this, and are you missing
Mhm.
some connection here? That
Right.
part is something that I personally really enjoy, and that comes after you've got the story written, but it's not polished yet,
Mhm.
right? Is that where you would put that?
Yeah, definitely. It has the foundation. It has the bones for it, but yeah,
kind of
everything
start
else
to
has to
finish,
fall in.
but yeah, the flow of the story, are you missing something? Because when you're
Right.
into it, I know I've
Right.
even cut out whole chapters, and but there may be something in that chapter that no longer makes the story run straight.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
happens. Okay. Now, which part do you think an author needs that edit most for? At what point? There are steps in your editing because there's, gosh, probably just five, at least five different kinds of edits, but
Mhm.
not necessarily all of them are needed for everybody all the time.
Right.
Which ones are absolutely necessary?
Line edits. I would say, well, development, definitely. But I see all different sorts of manuscripts come across my laptop, and many different authors in many different stages. I find that a lot of, like, say, the fantasy books that are really long, really large, they need the most development. A lot of times something will be brought up in the beginning and it's not touched upon again. So you need that extra eye to help it. But most of my edits seem to be line edits followed
All
by a
right.
proofread. Yeah,
And then the proofread just to make sure that all the
everything's
T's
done.
are crossed and yeah, everything's in
Yeah,
the right place and you didn't, the
yeah,
quotation, because as you go through and edit, things just shuffle and even if you
right.
wrote it great, you still have to edit, which means things get cut and chopped and pieced and
Hmm.
patched and shucks, I probably rewrite my book 5 times. Really,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah,
So
definitely. Me too. We all do.
as I said, your Jennifer Murgia Edits. The link to that is on Durham and Publishing's Authors Resources page. That's one way to get to it, or just directly through internet. They can find you that way
Hmm.
and connect to you and use this girl. She's good at her stuff. I'm just check out all those books that she's gone through and they're just beautiful. They're great.
They were they were so much fun to work on.
I'll bet you, just from my
Yes,
side, because I read so
yes.
much and do reviews and things like that for so many that, and a lot of them are good stories. They just need that
Hmm.
final touch. So
Right,
I
right.
highly, highly recommend not just having your work edited, but I can put you on that list too.
Thank
use
you.
use you, Jennifer Murgia Edits, um, and you can find it on DurhamPublishing.com's authors resources section. You can find her books on the book production page. And gosh, Jennifer, we may have you back on one of these days. Definitely when your new book comes out down the road,
Mhm.
because you haven't gotten there yet. Um,
It's coming.
it's
Here
coming.
it is.
It's there.
It's coming.
We'll have that on there too. And thank you for spending your morning with it. Oh, well, it's not your morning. It's morning where I am. It's early
Mhm.
afternoon there. So thank you for
Yeah, thank
spending
you for
part of your
having
day with
me.
us here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you much. And I thank you all for being part of us here at Author in the Headlights, sponsored by DurhamandPublishing.com. And until next time, thanks for being with us.